Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Apologies in advance if my voice sounds raspy, but I have a scratch in my throat. Anyway, today what we're gonna be talking about is TikTok. Yes, once more TikTok. But this time I really do think it's a more serious conversation than a lot of the other times, because a lot of the other times I think it was tomfoolery, I think it was fuckery, maybe cringe, maybe embarrassing. This is a different level, and that's why I really want to talk about it, because I feel like we're just seeing a really grim progression that makes me really uncomfortable to watch, but I also can't look away from, and I'll tell you why. So let's start with the lighter note, which lighter, I don't even know if that's the right term in the grand scheme of today's video. But basically, a video went viral of a mother dancing while she is in the hospital with her sick baby. So that video went viral. Now there is a follow-up video and I will include that, but I did want to say what my initial thoughts on that were, because the follow-up was made because a lot of people had the same thoughts as I did. Now I saw split reactions. Obviously there were some people who thought, okay, this is a coping mechanism. It might seem weird, we might not understand it, but it's a coping mechanism. However, the majority of people I saw thought it was funny because it was so morbid in its own way. And another group of people, which I'd categorize myself as, were kind of like, this is weird, I feel uncomfortable seeing this, I don't feel like I should be seeing this. I don't want to police anyone's coping mechanism. So, you know, if that's the coping mechanism, that's what it is. I just personally could not really get past the weirdness of it all. And maybe it's really just because I can't relate to it at all. First of all, I don't have a baby, but if I had a sick relative in the hospital, I don't think TikToks are what I would be making. And a sick relative is also a bit different because there's a level of autonomy if the relative is awake and clear-minded enough to be like, yes, make a TikTok. If that's entertaining to them, that would be a different story. A baby obviously can't consent. It really felt kind of like the family vlogger vibe, and you guys know how I feel about family vlogging. Putting your children on the internet these days, I think, is just dangerous, which sucks because obviously there are plenty of completely innocent reasons to put pictures of you with your nieces and nephews or whatever, but there's also the uncomfortable feeling that we know that there are maps like on Instagram that are basically just running wild, on Twitter as well, on other social media. A lot of people were kind of enraged because they thought it made kind of a mockery of the child's condition. The mother made a follow-up, well, there are multiple other videos, but specifically a follow-up in reference to said viral video. She made a follow-up, which I'll put here.
I understand people are upset with the video that I made. I just want to be clear and communicate that that was me just trying to be positive. I think it's important to just not just assume what someone's going through. Anyways, I took the video down because I could see, you know, where somebody could get the wrong idea, but that honestly was just me just trying to be positive in this situation. But I do want to say thank you for people who have reached out to me and my family, and I just really appreciate it.
As some suspected, it was a coping mechanism, or as she said, a way to kind of stay positive. Like I said, I'm not gonna say you can't do that, but I am gonna say that I think it's very predictable that a lot of people on the internet would not take that very well. And I think there's also maybe an extra layer that comes with that because of COVID. And I say that because not necessarily that this is related to COVID. I don't know what the condition is. I'm not a doctor, as we well know. But I think because we've been hearing so much about hospitals being overrun, hospitals being full of people, so many people having to go because of COVID, I think people might be more sensitive towards, you know, hospital type content like this than maybe in prior times. But that's just my hypothesis. I could be entirely wrong. I know I had a phobia of hospitals before, but I know that since the panorama started, it's gotten severely worse to the point where even if I have to go, I will try and find every way to not go. On to the other thing that is the more severe kind of aspect of TikTok that really scares me is that we've seen crimes that are being shown on TikTok. Like, I'm not going to say the names of the people, but there are crimes we've seen on TikTok where murderers will post evidence of having murdered someone or assaulted someone. And it feels surreal because, first of all, why would someone do that? But second of all, it just feels like it's progressively getting worse. And maybe that's just me or because I've seen too much. December 17th, if you didn't hear, was Shoot Up Your School Day. It started on TikTok. Now, obviously, that the name in and of itself makes me I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Not only because there was a shooting recently, but just because of the magnitude of shootings that have happened in schools. It immediately just made me nauseated. Thankfully, no schools were shot up, just to put everyone's mind at ease. But I did want to read something that I thought was interesting from an article discussing it. So the article was titled, "Police Warn of TikTok Challenge Threatening School Shootings." And this is just a little bit of the article. "You take a stock photo of a weapon," said Patrick Ryder, commissioner of the Nassau County Police Department. "Put that under a post and write you're going to shoot up a school. It goes from town to town and state to state. And sometimes, according to Nassau County Police, their origin is not even close to here. We had one tracked to Virginia," Ryder said. Now, it's obvious, yes, anyone can take a picture of a gun, say something ominous or eerie, post it, and pretend to be somewhere else, right? And you're going to start a frenzy, basically, in whatever area you claim to be in, because people take this shit seriously. Now, that's why TikTok in its own way scares me a little bit. It's not exclusive to TikTok, to be fair. We've seen things on Instagram, I'm sure Snapchat. I don't know anyone who still uses Snapchat, but if people still use Snapchat, I'm sure that also was a conduit for this type of behavior. The thing is first of all, I think that on TikTok, things go viral very fast and arguably faster than any other social media, in my opinion. I think that's one of the most damaging things is how quickly things like this go viral. So it's not just your friends list on Snapchat seeing these things. It's not just people who follow you on Instagram. It racks up views really quickly. And granted, even just your friends on Instagram or your friends on Snapchat seeing it is bad enough. But when it's something that kind of sweeps up and takes up a life of its own, that's when I think it becomes scary, because I think people realize how easy it is in some ways to go viral on Instagram for entirely the wrong reasons, like some people would say with the dancing mother that I discussed earlier. This is having real world repercussions. And that's what I was mentioning earlier, is that I don't have to look at TikTok to know about these things happening because it goes into mainstream media. Why? Because school districts get shut down because they think there's going to be a shooting. So it's starting to get in the way of actual real life. And I didn't laugh there because I think it's funny. I laugh in disbelief of how is it that this app that was made for lip syncing is now turning into something that has such massive real life repercussions, like entire schools being shut down, entire school districts being shut down and on alert. Aside from the logistical aspect of it all, of, getting in the way of people's education, of getting in the way of the police's work when they could have been doing something that, like actually saving lives, because this turned out to be a hoax. At least I hope it was, and it wasn't just that nobody decided to shoot up any schools, but it's also the emotional toll that it takes on people, because I can only imagine if I was being told, hey, school's canceled because allegedly someone might shoot it up. Whenever I went back to school, I would feel on edge, because if nothing happened, I'd think, okay, so maybe it's going to happen later, or maybe it was a false alarm. But I think it takes such a massive emotional toll that is also part of why it's so detrimental, because it affects aspects of life all across the board. And that's not me trying to fearmonger TikTok or say that TikTok is this monstrous thing. It's mainly underlining that there is a trend going on, and a trend that we need to keep our eye on because, like I said, its effects are massive. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.